Rachel, you have Ben. Sherilyn, you have Becky. And Engers, you have Siobhan. There's no swapping advisors. Listen to me. In most cases, you have advisors that went to your first quarter exhibition. So they're going to see the growth.
That's a gold ceramic.
Is there still a guy hiding?
Yeah.
Is that the guy that always hides?
There's 3.
Are you going to wear your dress? Are you ever going to wear your dress except in that fashion show?
Okay, we'll move on to my second project, which was on hypertension.
You're very proud of her. She did a good job. Still a lot of improvement.
I'm on my way to Rhode Island Hospital to check on some of my students who have internships here. Working hard?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Cool. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Anytime I see Josue, I gotta worry. Make sure he's focused. He's got a little name tag, and you know what's scary? Is that he's got a lot of access with that name tag. He can open doors. Now he's matured a lot, so should be okay.
Okay, we can either draw an arc or we can cut a circle in half. What do you want to do? You want to draw an arc? You're going to start off drawing just a regular line, right?
Things are better for Josue these days. His mom is tremendously supportive. Josue's dad has been in jail for several years now on drug crimes, and she's been keeping the family together and pretty close, and that's been a big help.
Grab everything that you're going to mirror.
I have about 4 students here, so they all eat together. It's pretty cool. What are you doing here, actually?
Me? Just getting my notebook and bouncing.
Your notebook from where? Why's your notebook here?
I know, because I went to work already, but I left my notebook there.
You went to where?
I'm going to work in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know where your internship is at. It's not here.
Do mLs equal mGs?
No. Milligrams is the amount of medicine in the milliliter. So the milliliter is the volume, the fluid that you could say the medicine is in. And the milligrams is the amount of medicine in the fluid.
That's good for you to learn because it relates to your interest, wanting to be a midwife.
How do you determine how much medicine you give to a person?
Well, body weight, age.
Because Kyle said it would, if I was a doctor, would I give him and a 70-year-old guy the same shot? And I say yeah, because they're both old.
I have a meeting with Carlos at 8 and a meeting with Anita at 8:30. Okay. Great. I'm done.
Michelle? It's your time.
Nothing big. I'm just getting to the point where I'm having like a lot more meetings at LTIs than I used to. So if people have organizational tips, that's always helpful. I mean, like, I don't know, do you keep like folders for each kid, or I mean, if people have things at work, then
I have one folder that I use for all my LTI meetings, and then I tend to take notes, and then I have folders at home for each kid that I put them into. So I have one folder that I carry with me, and then I have individual folders at home.
I write everything into this pad right in here, and then I usually go home and type them up. And I have a folder set up on my laptop for every student. And then I take that piece of paper and I crumple it up as small as I can and I throw it away. And then the next day I usually meet with the student. They usually should take notes as well. My notes are usually a lot better.
I think the earlier you can get the kid taking notes at the meeting, the better. Like, I didn't do that well, and most of my kids don't have note-taking tendencies.
Yeah. One thing I did, I think it was 11th grade, is I started making up stuff that I said the mentor said they had to do, and I had it written in my notes, and they said, no, they didn't, and I said, show me your notes. And that kicked, I didn't keep it up enough because I don't like, in general, lying, but for a few of the students, what definitely came out of it was a habit of taking notes. It's not across the board in my advisory, but some of my students are really solid about it.
You're off to the informational interview. Take care.
All right, Carlos.
I'm sorry I was late. You know what I'm doing? Coach the girls.
Oh, I heard.
For the 9 games because Lonnie quit or someone quit. So.
Oh. They have a game today too, right?
It's different coaching girls though. Yeah. Much different. Because yeah, the game today is 6. Okay.
Okay. So let's try to go through this. Did you speak to Priscilla about the play?
I sure did. And I spoke to her and Andre and said, hey, you guys have a lot of competition. It's in your best interest to combine your efforts with someone and make it a big evening, you know, of theater. The play's finalized. It was finally okayed by her college professor for the playwriting class. They gave him some suggestions, and they did it. We read it. We timed it. We know how long it is, about 45 minutes to an hour. They've recruited certain people that they know they want for certain parts. So that's good. That's great, and they're excited about it. So now
it's
it's
a speech about what the words they use.
Have you read? You may want to read it. I told them the same thing. The word nigga is used a few times in it, and I told them, okay, if you want to emphasize a point, that's fine, but it shouldn't be throughout the play. It's in there. It's in there a couple of times, but it's used when he's really upset. And we read it in the advisory, and and even some of the students were like, you don't really need to say it that much. Like, you can replace it with something else. She changed it a lot. It's gone through about like 7 drafts. It's about 30 pages long.
All right, so just some logistical stuff. All right, so I talked to Sean about getting a, when he finishes his label, if he can give me a copy of his label.
Okay. Also, Sean is going to be doing that one-on-one math with Tanya Fields, that email that Elaine sent out.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And he's been doing a lot better. He's been doing a lot much better. Like, I've noticed some maturity, and I've noticed him distancing himself from certain people.
Yeah, I say that.
And I've even overheard other students say, "Wow, Sean barely interacts with us. He just sits there and does his work."
So did you give him a Post-it?
I send him emails. Would you like me to give him Post-it? You have any more smiley Post-its?
Now you want to Post-it.
I don't do Post-its. I mean, I agree though, but I do let him know that he's doing a good job.
I will get you one. When I get my keys, I'm gonna get you one. I was a little worried that he seemed kind of down and sad, but I don't know. That's just him being serious.
I'm hoping it's that and a combination of just maturity.
Oh, and I talked to him about his fish tank. It's bad.
Yeah, we need to do something.
So he just needs to take care of it, because they're sick, obviously.
I wonder what they're sick with.
Oh, it's too much light, so they're getting too much algae. That's what they talk about at the meeting. Yeah. And then, so I told him he needs to speak to Dennis so that he can then change the location, because they're sick because of the location, too much light in there. Change the location, and then he can then start taking care of them, So, Angers, you said he needs some help on reading. So maybe...
I'd said that he's doing much better in his reading, so he's reading much more than he has been.
Okay.
So this year he's already read 3 books.
So you don't think he needs...
So it's not, but I think that he needs more one-on-one help with studying and learning how to study for like his college class. He's been like peaking and then he goes right into a valley, so it's like, it's not consistent. So I don't know what it is, if it's his study habits. He and I have spoken about that. So during silent reading, he should be reading his college textbook, and I told him that he could do it with Alberto, because they do work well together. But I need to talk to him about his last exam and how he did. I don't know how he did.
So, some other things. So I made a copy of your evaluation in mine, but I'm trying to do a better job at looking at the evaluations that we wrote, and then really helping you and myself follow throughout the quarter. That's something I'm working on. We have about 5 minutes, so why don't we'll do that next time.
Okay.
So you can look at it and figure out what are the pieces that you still want to work on that you want me to help focus.
The school learning plan? Like our team?
No, your own evaluation.
Okay.
And so, like, what are those the things that you still want me to help push, and then I can help. Because I don't want to leave it to the end. We'll talk about it next time.
By tomorrow. I want a draft. I want something. A couple of pages.
Hey, he wants his gateway in my office. That's good?
Yes, that's fine. I was hoping that it would be okay for you. These are the questions that you're going to ask the... Beautiful.
What do you mean another day? I work, Carlos.
When do you work?
What are you doing?
When do you work? You can talk to me. I'm right here. When do you work?
Every single day.
And what?
Marielle, ask Josue to turn that down for me, please. Right? Think about everything. Don't just think of it as one-dimensional about what will you learn about ordering mice and modems. Think about your entire project. What will you learn? Thank you. You can go to the library, Aisha. Honestly, you don't need to go.
She gave me a total of like 11. I did like 10.
You've done like 10?
like 8 attached. Like, I only got 4 more left.
If you have 4 more, that means you've done 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see if you can
Did you have
locate
to try
Ashley?
and
She's
explain
somewhere
it
in this
already?
building. And you know all the hiding places. Hello. Hi. Good. Did Rachel explain? She has the opportunity to be able to go to New Orleans with some of the medical students that she works with here from Brown University. And they have to do a lot of fundraising by before. Well, I would say by the beginning of March.
I'm gonna get that
Yes.
today.
So what Nancy, our school principal, was able to do is arrange it so that they can have an after-school
And I
job
also have on my shirt.
which you can make money and save the money. Okay? All right, and by the way, I spoke with Kristen today regarding the LTI situation, and I have a phone number to call. So she'll probably start next week. Okay, no problem. Bye-bye. Okay, Miss Aisha, explain to us your activity with your syringe and what you've learned at your LTI.
Say you have 5 milliliters of medicine. That's how it's, yeah. But I have to give the patient 10 milliliters of this and this.
Now, before she wasn't sure if it was a milligram or a milliliter.
I think what you're talking about here turned not milliliters, you were really talking about milligrams. Because
right
if
the
you
first time.
inject 10 milliliters in somebody, that's a huge volume to inject in of medicine. So you're really talking about milligrams, which is weight. It's not volume.
Okay. What are the little hashes in between them, each number that's there? What do those indicate? That half mark and the 1. How many lines in between them?
4.
So what does each one represent? How much?
4.
There are 4 lines, okay? It's taking 4, so think of it in a number line. What does each one of these mean in between there?
I don't understand this.
If this is 0.5.
So that means 1/3, 1/4, 1/5.
No, not at all. Aisha came to us a year and a half ago, having missed almost a third of her days at her middle school. So she has a lot of remedial work to do in math, and she's definitely not alone. I'd say at least half of our kids come in with 4th grade math skills. Then you have to convert those into fractions. There's something that I know that you can figure out because we've done similar things, right? So I want you to write those as fractions.
I don't know how to write fractions.
Yes, you do. You have 1/2 there. So if you write 0.4, how do you write that as a fraction?
4.
It's 4 over what?
4/5.
Okay. Okay.
You lost me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Anything to the right of the decimal point, they're tenths. So anything, whatever the number is here, would be over 10. So if these are tenths and these are hundredths, what would these be?
1,000s.
Very good. Okay. So if you ever had a number that was 0.009, what would that be?
9/1,000.
Okay. Making progress. Now you understand. So hold on. Keep going with me. So you have 0.5. Aisha, seriously, you're almost there. You have 0.5, you have 0.4, you have 0.3, you have 0.2, and you have 0.1. Write those as fractions. Yep.
Can you read over this and correct, please? Hi, everybody. Welcome to my first quarter Gateway exhibition. I'm going to talk about my LTI from last year. My LTI was at Trinity Rep in the costume shop because I was interested in fashion. That's the dress I made. My next project from last year was to be in a fashion show at Johnson & Wales, and they showed me how to walk. And who had a question? Yeah.
I just want, how was the walk? Can you show us like a little walk?
No. What happened? All right, moving on. My LTI that I just started is at Rhode Island Hospital. We went for an LTI setup meeting, and we brainstormed some projects I could do. So I did a research paper on infant mortality rates because I'm interested in being a pediatrician, and I wanted to find out more about the different sicknesses and diseases that infant could catch.
So which of the factors that that make infant mortality happen, which of them is the most responsible?
I think it's probably AIDS, because when the baby's born, because if the mother have AIDS and the baby's born, she's gonna pass the AIDS on to the baby, and the baby ain't gonna last long, like live long.
So how many, let's say the last year you have data for, how many total babies died in West Africa in 1 year?
Thinking on her feet is a challenge for Rachel.
You can give me an estimate if you don't know the exact number.
She came to this country just a few years ago from Liberia.
Like one country. Give me one country.
Like in 2003.
Her education has been real traditional up to this point. Basically memorization, rote learning. And she's been pretty diligent, giving her teachers just what they asked for.
13,443 deaths in West Africa and Liberia.
Okay. So your hypothesis was that AIDS causes the most deaths. Did you find?
That wasn't my hypothesis.
Oh, it wasn't?
I didn't do a hypothesis.
No, but you just told me when I asked you.
Oh.
Right?
But that wasn't my hypothesis.
Okay. In some ways, it's probably, just so that you have a good understanding of empirical reasoning, what you could think of is that we were just kind of, we were starting a little empirical reasoning, because I asked you a question, which was, which disease caused the most deaths, and you came up with a hypothesis, even though you didn't know it. And all a hypothesis is a guess to a question. So your hypothesis was AIDS. To make it real empirical reasoning, we would need to test that, or have some data to know whether your hypothesis was true or not. So do you have any data on which diseases cause the most child deaths?
Yeah, 2002, that's in 2003. Any more questions?
Okay, I'd like to go around and give some really specific feedback on areas that Rachel did well and some things that she has to, or some suggestions of things that she should work on.
It seemed like you had the information you needed to explain each part of your exhibition. Another positive thing is that you look very organized. You had your presentation, you had your visuals.
Maybe if you had something that'll bring the audience, like that walk. If you did that walk, then you could really add something special or something to gain the audience attention.
To focus on the positive, I really don't know if I've met a more serious student, and I think that's going to take you very far. But I'm not sure how much curiosity I saw in this exhibition. And when I say curiosity, I mean that you have a research topic, and then you do what you're supposed to do and what you say you're going to do, but then you really go the next step because you want to learn more. And the way that I think you show you want to go to the next step is that you take every opportunity you can to explain what you learned. And I think when I or Carlos asked you to really show what you learned and explain what you learned and talk about what you learned, I felt like you stayed at the surface in your explanation. And so I think the biggest challenge, and unfortunately the least specific challenge I would make to you for your next Gateway, is to go beyond the surface. And I know there's a possibility of you traveling to present at a conference. Someone there, in front of a lot of strangers, may ask some of the same questions. So if I were you, I'd make a recommendation to the three of you who may be traveling to sit down, look at each other's work, and make 20 quiz questions.
All right. How do you feel? Feel relieved?
Yeah.
Looked like you was trying to get through it.
I really was.
A lot of that information you knew, Rachel.
I know, but I just couldn't get it out.
If you know it, you have to be confident with it.
Mikey sure wanted you to walk that walk, huh?
Did you read what you wrote?
What did you write?
He said, read that.
We gotta have a conversation with our boy about
Do you think that the feedback we put on Rachel's feedback form was appropriate for an academic exhibition?
What I write? I don't know, just tell me, just because I wrote.
My recollection is that you wrote, "You should be a model. You're really hot."
No, wait. I said, wait, hold up, because I got to think. I wrote, you could really be a model. Trust me, you're hot.
Okay, that was a good quote. And then you said, why didn't you do the Beyonce walk?
I wrote that.
Okay. What do you think Rachel was presenting just now? Was she presenting the way she looks? Is that what she wanted to be evaluated based on? Is she going to get in the Senior Institute because she's hot?
Well, I don't know what Senior Institute, but I thought she wanted to be a model.
I guess what I'm driving at, Mike, is that someone's exhibition is about their academic achievement. The project work that they've done, what they've learned, their research. It's inappropriate for you and inconsiderate of Rachel to say, rather than say you did a great research paper, you have a great internship, you read a lot of books, what you focused on is the way she looks. We want you to become a man. And part of a man is treating women with respect.
I ain't a man yet, so.
But you gotta start being one.
Alright.
That's better. There's gonna be enough people in the world who accept you being a little boy, and neither Carlos nor I is one of those people.
First, I'm gonna start off with my activity, which I'm gonna be teaching you guys how to measure doses of medicine. The first problem is to give your patient 240 milligrams of medicine, and the concentration of the medicine is 60 milligrams per milliliters. The medicine has 60 milligrams per milliliter. You have to give the patient 240. So you want to find out 60 divided into what equals 240.
60 divided into what? Or
into a number.
Divided into 240 is...
So it will be 40 on the syringe that you guys have.
4 on the
syringe, and you gotta draw it.
You want to find out how many milliliters to give the patient.
Aisha seemed to have gotten the fraction piece we worked on, but not the conversion she needed for this exhibition. So we need to keep developing QR next year in her projects and internships. So these are your list of expectations. The only thing for next quarter, the only things that are different are... Aisha's got ambitions. You have to have up to 20 pages. She wants to be a midwife or an obstetrician, and we need to get her ready for college. So this upcoming quarter, we're going to start really doing some research into colleges. Also, what are some things that she'll need to do between now and graduation to make sure that she gets into those schools and is as successful as possible, so that she doesn't get into these schools and then it's like, wait a minute, I have no idea what I'm doing, or I don't know what I have to do. Has Aisha told you anything about the possibility of her going to New Orleans with Odyssey, Rachel, and myself? How do you feel about that?
Is this going to be another outward bound trip?
No, ma'am. No.
Oh, you got to buy the plane ticket and you got to buy the hotel room and...
It wasn't that bad.
That's what she's saying. She's not saying like nothing.
Okay, no. She's working, and a good chunk of that money that she's making is going to fund that.
From now on, every week I'm going to send Carlos an email about what your running total is.
What you
Excuse me 1 second.
beat what? Why would you call me a bitch for out of nowhere?
I'm sitting over here. This girl comes out of nowhere.
Why would you call me a bitch for nowhere? Out of nowhere.
I understand.
Well, you come swearing at me out of nowhere.
Just go for a walk. Just stand, please. I'm not pointing the blame on anyone. I'm not pointing the blame on it because I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless, you shouldn't have done that. Not necessarily saying that she should have blown up that way, but you shouldn't have done that. You know where Becky is.
He called that so disrespectful to call a girl a bitch.
I agree.
He's a bitch just for calling me that. He's a bitch.
I agree 100%, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to go in there right now. If you want to work in my room, you can work in Anita's room. I just don't want you two in the same room right now. It's not a good idea. You agree it's not a good idea? Okay. All right, you want me to grab your stuff? Oh, Cedar could grab your stuff for you. You mind grabbing the stuff for her? After the little altercation next door, Becky came down right away to mediate the conflict with her advisory, so I was able to get back to my meeting with Aisha and her mom. So, I'm sorry. So yeah, they're at the medical conference, and that's when Odyssey's presenting her work, and I think what they're gonna do is try to have Aisha and Rachel have their work on display so that people know about the school and what the local chapter of H-Prep is doing here in Rhode Island.
Very cool.
You have 5 ticks? Can I have 5 ticks of your time?
Yeah, I thought you meant 5 tickets to Martin Luther King breakfast.
If you have that, I'd love to.
Tell Nancy you'd like to go.
Did you hear their story about the New Orleans?
I was about to.
Oh, they were trying to get you in good.
Come on.
What do you want? You want to go to New Orleans?
We're in an after-school program.
Yeah.
And it's called H-Prep.
H-Prep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Help, professional.
You talking about here, or you talking about the one you do at the hospital or Brown?
Here.
Okay. Who runs it?
My mentor and Brown medical students.
Okay.
And they have like.
All right. Now get to the ask.
And we're trying to go to New Orleans.
Okay, go ahead. 4.
To present. I don't know. Go ahead, Carlos.
What are you presenting?
Oh,
You specifically.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm presenting my project on hypertension. And the reason why that's my project because my mentor is helped with the National Scholarship, which is held in New Orleans. And my project is going to be presented in New Orleans to like other members of H-Prep and...
Now, just to give you a heads up on what these young ladies have done as of today, they've all acquired jobs to save money to go.
Cool. Here's what you got to do for me. Give me 2 paragraphs on kind of summarizing what you said now. Okay, we'd like to go to New Orleans because da-da-da, it's a follow-up of our project. 2 paragraphs. The cost is, and put everything down. Then I'll take that, and I'll see how much that is, and then sit down with you, and I'll be able to help you get that letter and write it to somebody, and someone may give you each $100, and somebody else may give you $100 and stuff. So you do that in a week, get all the stuff, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
My hunch is that it will happen.
Okay.
We are in New Orleans and we're waiting for our ride. To go to the hotel. Yep, and it's hot. I want to eat some food. I'm hungry.
Real good Cajun food. Fried alligator.
I'd stay consistent. I do agree. Try to slide it over.
54% of students rank out 1 to 2 times a week.
I think they're all great projects. Don't get me wrong, but I think that her particular project is 1 step ahead.